Welcome to another week of Art and Faith for Songwriters. This week, week 4, we are discussing and defining Christian art. What is Christian art? Have you ever thought about that? To start our discussion, I want to ask you, what are 3 words that best describes Christian art to you? The next question, does those words reflect your music? If so, how? If not, why? I want to share a quote with you from Steve Turner. He's the author of this book called Imagine a Vision for Christians in the Arts. In this book, Steve says, one of the greatest hindrances to the development of biblically informed mainstream art has been the perception that Christians should make Christian art that is always explicitly religious. The problem with making Christian art always explicitly religious is that we box our faith, we box our art, and nonetheless, we box God. Douglas C. Mann said, when I box in God, my heart and faith are themselves boxed in, which affects my art and life and the expression of faith that flows from it. It's fascinating that 1/3 of the Bible is poetry. It's art. Last week, we discussed how a lot of the ways that Jesus spoke was in parables, metaphors. Given the artfulness of the Bible, we can begin to see how God uses the imagination to guide and to teach us. Here's a question to think about. Besides revealing truth, what was the effect of Jesus' parables and metaphors? What outcome did sharing parables and metaphors have on people? The ultimate effect that those parables and metaphors had on people is that they transformed perception. Jesus spoke in a way that caused someone to think differently about their circumstances, think differently about others around them, think differently about the world, think differently about God, etc., etc. So regardless of what words you put down for what best describes Christian art for you, the one thing that we can say defines Christian art is that it transforms perception. Douglas C. Mann even went to the extent of saying that the foundation for Christians making art is that it is transformative and inciting as a matter of course. When he says inciting, he's talking about it sparks something in someone to do something. That's what Jesus did. He sparked in people, causing them to do things differently. This isn't a far-fetched or hard to understand concept. Just look at a Christian's life, a biblically inspired life. We will see transformation. So if our lives are being transformed by God, shouldn't our art then, biblically inspired art, transform how the audience perceives the world and invites the audience into our own creative act? One of the ways that we've boxed God in and we've boxed Christian art in is that we've made art for the church be a propaganda piece. something that is explicitly used to convert people. And that just really pigeonholes art. It pigeonholes the expression of art. It pigeonholes God who created art and the process of creating. I want to play an example for you. I want to play an example of a song that I recently wrote called Scandal. This is a song in which I am purposely trying to change the perspective of the audience that will hear this song. I'm trying to get folks to think more carefully about how they're canceling people and be more slow to judging those folks or writing those human beings off. So here's the song Scandal. This is a draft, by the way. Those without sin can be the first to boast. But remember, your words are the ones quoted. When it's your turn and your roles are shown, how you judge now determines your judgment. Scandal, every day a new scandal. How much can I handle? What is culture cancel? It is off the handle. How we choose to ban folks, absorbing handfuls of those who we stand for. Look at us, circled around this mantle at 12:30 in his office, commentating over lunch, pretending we flawless, like we innocent and lawless, throwing shade and gossip. We can be so raw and send a tone of contempt, magnifying the wrongs of others' total expense, trivializing our own brokenness or dismiss, signifying all alone our hearts hidden guilt. No, I'm not exempt. I'm in the same ship as you. I'm just burning hot by the foolish things people do. This is not for rude. I am not offering offense. If we only knew the agenda of the heart within. Those without sin can be the first to boast. But remember, your words are the ones quoted. When it's your turn and your roles are shown, how you judge now determines your judgment. Let's be clear, to avoid chaos in this atmosphere. Unfuel any feud that's severe. Drift of views of me is cavalier. Any wrongs of yesteryear that went unnoticed, that are now currently being spoken, should be dealt with. No human can escape consequences. It's the natural effect caused by offenses. The only thing that I bring to attention, tossing out trash with redeemable citizens, taking on the role of God with biased sentiments. We need deliverance from our ignorance. Those without sin can be the first to boast. But remember, your words are the ones quoted. When it's your turn and your roles are shown, how you judge now determines your judgment. Those without sin can be the first to boast. But remember, your words are the ones quoted. When it's your turn and your roles are shown, how you judge now determines your judgment. When you're writing your songs, you want to create art that has these three components to it. 4 if you include transformative. But you want to create art that is authentic, relevant, and an expression of your faith. So the A in the acronym R stands for authentic. You want your songs, your artistry to be a genuine expression, a genuine experience from your life. And you don't have to always live an experience to know about it. You can know about something just from what you perceive it to be. In our last week, I talked about how I wrote a song for an opioid recovery campaign. I don't know firsthand what it's like to be strung out on opioids or any drugs. But based upon the research that I did and the videos that I watched, I then came into the knowledge, the knowing of what people were going through. Now the R is for relevant. Is it helpful or useful for today and tomorrow? We as Christian creators, as Christian or creative insiders, we are shaping the future. We are shaping what the world will look like when the kingdom come. This is part of our role here as artists, as any human being truly who is creating, and we all are given the power to create. Are the songs you're writing, are they helpful or useful today and tomorrow? When we think about that song, Scandal, it is very relevant. I am specifically addressing something prevalent today, cancel culture. The last letter, E, stands for expression of faith. Now, this just means living out your faith. And I want to highlight living out your faith, the ups and the downs. We do not always have it together every single day in our walk with Jesus. And so when we do have it together, it's okay to write from those experiences. And it's okay and highly encouraged to write from the moments when we don't have it together. For me, those are the areas that I connect with the most. I connect with those who struggle with their faith. That tension there, because it reminds me of some of my own challenges and some of my own strugglings. So when you're writing, express your faith. And I'm not saying make declarations. That's not what I'm mentioning when I say expression of faith. I'm just saying share your life. And if you share your life, inherently, you're going to share your faith, the ups and the downs, because you're sharing your life. You're sharing authentic experiences from the things that you know and the things that are relevant today and will be relevant tomorrow. When you add authenticity, relevancy, expression of faith with transformative perception or perceptive changing, you equal your art. Now, what it sounds like, that's to be determined. And that's the journey that we will explore later. But as long as you have these four things, you inherently are creating Christian art. It doesn't matter what the form is, what it sounds like, what it looks like. Is it authentic? Is it relevant? Is it an expression of faith? And does it transform perceptions? If yes, you are making Christian art. Now it's time for reflection. Each question, I'm going to put a minute on the clock. And when that minute is up, I'm going to go to the next question. Starting with number 1, question 1. How have you seen people put God and Christian art in a box? Number 2, how have you put God and Christian art in a box? Lastly, number 3. What are 3 things you can do to not put God in a box? I hope what's been spoken tonight in this video have transformed your perception of how you see things and ultimately will affect how you move. I just want to inform you on this week's assignment. This week's assignment is 2 things. 1, I want you to list 3 songs, ideas that's a real experience from your life that is helpful to someone else and it demonstrates your faith. You don't need to add lyrics, just 3 concepts, 3 song concepts that you may have been thinking about that demonstrate those 3 key components. It's authentic, real experiences from your life, or something that you know of. It's relevant. It could be helpful today. And then lastly, it is an expression of your faith. I want you to leave that in the group app. The second thing I want you to do is post 1 song from another artist that is authentic, relevant, and an expression of faith. Well, let us recap for this week of Art and Faith. This week, we learned that Christian art can be anything. Christian art doesn't have a form or a box that it lives in. The most important thing or the foundation of Christian art is that it transforms perceptions. And lastly, we learned that Christian art should be authentic, relevant, and an expression of faith. Well, that's it for the week. I appreciate you for watching this video. I do look forward to chatting with more of you, especially during our weekly discussion. The conversations and the back and forth are really enriching, not just for me, but for others that are watching this. So please continue to log in on Mondays and join the conversation. And please, post your assignments inside of the Art and Faith course inside of the group app. If you don't know where that is, just send me an email and then I help walk you through it. All right. Until next time, next week, enjoy your week, stay up, and continue your writing prompts. Please continue your writing prompts. All right. Peace.